yours, Yuna, aka Professional High Priestess, and I'm here to do a why you are dealing with karmics. Why you are dealing with karmics. Just a message. Because some of you guys are maybe like, why is this happening in my life? What did I do to deserve this? Da 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 da. Now, I'm going to give you just a couple of angles to look at your situation from that can potentially help you as you're going throughout your day. And then I do have some cards I'll be pulling from the Take Good Care deck. Okay. Now, why are some of y'all dealing with karmics? Well, one, they always say that we agree to certain contracts before we come into this reality and da 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 da. Okay, so let's see, right? But sometimes we go through certain situations that are so baffling, or that are so complex, or so crazy, or like how would I say this? You may feel bamboozled, or even like not bedazzled, but bewildered, at some of the things that may go on in your life, or some of these people that you may interact with, and why do we deal with some of these karmics? One is, of course, because it's a certain karmic energy that we're working out, and we talk about that, right? Via the past life karmic energies and shadow work and all that stuff. But another reason why sometimes we deal with karmics is because they're teaching us something about ourselves that we have not seen. And on one hand, some of the times we deal with karmic energies, it's because some people may not want to hear this, but unfortunately, some of us set that tone previously, meaning that we didn't do certain works on ourselves, or we got wrapped up with the wrong people we knew we should have been away from, or things like that. So sometimes we deal with these karmics. So the universe is like, okay, now that you've learned your lesson, are you done? Are you finished, or are you done? Right? The Most High will do that. They'll be like, are you finished, or are you done? Are you tired of dealing with this? And then we can finally break that cycle and move forward, into something else that we don't have to learn through harshness or pain or through drama or through chaos or through, abuse or things like that. Sometimes that's why we go through that. Another reason why we go through karmic energies, like I said before, is to teach us who we are and who we are not. And I'm going to give an example. Thank you so much, Migdali, Joseph. I'm going to say one thing. When I went through my gang stalking and things like that, by the way, you guys, for those of you who've been following my journey, or for those of you who are new to my channel, I ended up going through some crazy situation wherein 5 years ago, a female that I cut out of my life because she was unstable decided to try to have me murdered through ritual sacrifice that backfired. Then what was happening was they were going on my social media and my website and following all my business partners and my with my friends at the time, and they were using satanic magic to cause conflict, to have me isolated and things like that. It resulted in a whole bunch of bullshit going on, but eventually now justice is being served, right? So when I was going through that whole situation with getting gang stalked and all that type of stuff that you guys watched over this past 2 years, I had to go through that to see something, to see, okay, you know what, Daisy, this is why you got into this. These are the type of people you need to stay away from moving forward. I wasn't seeing the people around me, that they were actually really snakes, and that there was something really wrong with these females that I was dealing with, as well as these males. I wasn't seeing that. I was being too nice. I was being too compromising. I was creating like a situations because I'm a Libra moon too. I was creating situations to create like harmony and peace with people that didn't deserve it. They deserve total warfare. They deserve to be outcasted. They deserve to get my foot on their neck. That type of thing. The Most High was showing me something, Daisy. You need to change the way that you approach these type of people. You keep on trying to deal with wolves with the approach of sheep, and we can't have that anymore. You're a fucking lion. So now you deal with lion. Now you deal with these people just as a lion would deal with them. You slaughter them, motherfucker. Right? Spiritually, okay? Because we don't commit crimes, you guys. We don't do that. Now, another thing that was going on in terms of why I had to deal with those karmics and things like that was because sometimes you all, and I tell you guys this, sometimes your chart, the way that your energy frequency is set up, the way that you are set up, is for these karmics to get karma when they play in your energy field. And I've shown you guys this time and time again, for those of you who've been following when I do the chart breakdowns and things like that. when certain people play with you, when you have certain a frequency, as well as when you have just a good person, you have a good heart, people play with you, and that triggers their downfall. It's unfortunate, but that's how a lot of it has to happen these days. It's like a chemical reaction. It's like a catalyst. Okay, this volatile element is coming to mix with this element that can become very, very volatile. This is going to create a combustion, and it's going to create a tower that these individuals cannot get out of. Sometimes the Most High will put you in that workplace, or they'll put you in that family, that relationship. They'll put you involved with these people, friends groups or family groups or covens or shit like that, for you to create the implosion that they need to get their karma. That's how the Most High is using you as well too. That's why you deal with karmics as well, to teach you to learn a lesson. Learn a lesson about your strengths. Learn a lesson about, as well, for them to learn a lesson too. Sometimes it's not just about you. It's not about you sometimes. And that's something that I had to really, really grasp, even when I was going through all kinds of fuckery with these karmics, because all of them are psychopaths. And I'm not. And those of you who dealt with sociopaths or narcissists or psychopaths, they're very mentally ill. They're mentally unstable because they harbor a demon within them. That's why they act the way that they act. It's not normal human behavior. They're being driven by an entity. So when you're dealing with that, like, high frequency, low vibrational energy, it's very volatile, but it's very low frequency. They do anything. It's like on the Harry Potter deck that I have, the Five of Swords with the clown coming out of the box. That's that type of energy. Like, surprise, you don't know what you're gonna get. That's why it's on the Five of Swords. They come with all that type of energy. Sometimes it's for them to learn a lesson about who they are not and who they actually are. Sometimes it's for them to learn their limitations, because psychopaths and narcissists, they don't think that they have limitations. That's why sometimes they have to meet somebody that they cannot get over on. They have to meet that brick wall for them to crash and get their karma. Principalities as well, you all. Sometimes we have to go through these situations, and I was just thinking about it last night. I was like, my ancestors were showing me this is why you have to go through that, because eventually you'll be able to help other people, and you'll see that the smile on their face, or the pain that they no longer have to go through, or the stability that they're not going to get, is because you had to go through all that fuckery, and that's what kind of kept me going through the situation. That's another thing here, you guys. A lot of the energies that are on this planet right now, these are low vibing principalities that are getting destroyed right now, that have been around for thousands of years, and they're getting killed right now with the transits. This is a very, very pivotal time right now. It's a very pivotal time right now. That's why a lot of us are dealing with some of the shit that we're dealing with, and it's not about us not having to deal with it. It's about just expanding our capacity. It's unfortunate. Like, why the fuck should I be having to expand my capacity to deal with karmics that shouldn't be in my life in the first place? For crazy ass bitches that need medication and shit like that, or for crazy ass niggas that should be in jail. Why should I be the one to do that? But then you have to think about it. At the end of the day, you're still killing two birds with one stone, because it's like, okay, well, you still have that spiritual muscle that you built even when you're not dealing with the principality. So then when you go in full blast to deal with them, you're already suited up and booted up, you see? So it's like, a lot of us have to go through that pivot. Like, it's like we have to change our mind. We have to, like, go through those hangman moments where we have to see it through a different lens, or else a lot of us could perish if we look at it through just one lens, And that's why you're going through that, so that you know how to change your perception. So it's like you know how to astral project, you know how to teleport, you know how to change your whole entire frequency in just a drop of a hat by changing your mind. Another reason why this is happening is for you guys to learn about your gifts as well, to learn about your gifts. Oh, wow, had I not gone through that, I would have known how good I am with, like, beauty stuff. Like, one of my subbies, she's like a beauty fucking witch, man. She be making all kinds of mixtures and things like that. I'm like, you're on this, right? And now look where that's leading her, into a beauty empire that she's building. Think about this. Had you guys not gone through that, you wouldn't have learned how to meditate. You wouldn't have learned about the court system. You wouldn't have been inspired to do A, B, C, and D. Think about that. You wouldn't have learned about energy harvesting and how to block that. You wouldn't have learned how to heal yourself, protect yourself, and all those things. That's why you have to go through that. It's unfortunate, but you remember in when we did the Harriet Tubman ancestral adventure, and it was saying in the story that she protected a young man from being beaten by his master or something like that. She refused to be involved. She refused to help the oppressor. So he threw a cup at her head. But she said that after that day that she got that cup thrown at her head, that's when her spiritual gifts got activated, right? I know it's funny, but it says it right there. That's the story that she told, right? So it's like it's unfortunate that as one of our most powerful ancestors, she had to go through that. But think about on the other end, look how many people she freed. Look how many legacies were changed. Look how she fought in the Civil War and did all those type of things, and it was off of those gifts that she got from that initial trauma that she had gone through. So that's a lot of the times that we go through that to activate our gifts. Because a lot of these karmics don't realize by playing in your energy field, they're activating certain ancestors that are destroying them now. Think about that. They're playing with volatile forces that are killing them now. All the karmics that play with me, ask them, how the fuck did that go? They're dying. They're getting caught up. They're going to prison. They're losing their jobs. And for those of you who've been with me on this journey, you guys go look at that page that I have made where I'm posting all the information. They're losing their jobs. Some of them are losing their housing. They've lost their respect. They lost their 5 seconds of fame that they got from whatever. All the bitches that were trying to build off my name, look what they got. Nothing. They look stupid. They got the scarlet letter of rat and snake and whore and karmic and black magician or dark magician. Let me change that word because we don't want to create any stigmas here. Dark magician. That's why you got to go through some of these things with these karmics so they can get defeated. You realize who you are, who you are not. Change the rules. Change the rules. They thought that they were going to defeat you and do this, some of these karmics. But no, you're changing the rules by now. You're not about to do that because that's not in my Akashic records. That's not my destiny. That's your destiny. That's your false prophecy. So you're going to live that shit. Yeah, you got Mars in the 12th house, secret enemies. That shit is crazy. Look, it says you are not alone. You're not. Look at you guys. Now, one thing I'm going to say here too, had I not gone through that journey, I wouldn't have started my channel. And look at all you guys in the chat. You guys are friends here. Everyone loves John Diamond across fucking YouTube. Right? You guys have friends. You're connecting with people who've been through the similar thing. You're talking with individuals. Look, had this not happened, we wouldn't have been able to come together as a community. And it says here, let your path look different. Yeah, a lot of stuff is going on. That's why sometimes these things have to happen for you to separate yourself from toxic family once and for all and cut that cord. Like, oh, I see y'all. Thank you. For you to recognize maybe where you were being too codependent, being too forgiving, being too open with people who had your worst interest at heart. For you to recognize how special you are. Because had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have realized like, wow, you know what? I'm really the bag. I'm really the gift. Because I got all these motherfuckers, entertainers, people running whole companies or whole states working against me. I must be something special. Divine Feminine. You got all these karmics selling their children down the river to play with you, tying themselves to satanic demons and forces to play with your energy. Think about how special you are. That people are willing to ruin their life for the hopes of trying to damage yours or tamper with yours. Think about that. For those of you who dealt with masculines that were playing with you, things like that, that was supposed to teach you a lesson. That dealt with karmic masculines is supposed to teach you a lesson. This is why you don't lay down with toxic ass men. This is why you don't deal with abusive ass men. This is how you see a narcissist. This is how you identify one. Some of you guys have to go through that so that you break that curse or that energy, that karmic energy within your ancestral line, wherein the women were always getting attached to karmic ass masculines that drain their energy or abuse them or shit like that. You had to break that chain. You had to cut that cord and write a whole new future. Right now, especially with the Lionsgate portal being open, this is a great time to do a lot of quantum leaping and clearing. That's why I encourage you guys, go listen to those meditations. I put the free ones on there. There's a selenite one. There's hematite. There's smoky quartz. There's black tourmaline. Even if you can't afford the album, go listen to those and clear your energy. Yes. This is the new time that we're in. These karmics don't realize that. That's why a lot of us, like I said, that's why we're dealing with these battles, because it's a principality that we're bringing down so that other people don't have to deal with that bullshit. So if you kind of had to be the one to kind of go through all of that, gladly, so that other people don't have to deal with that bullshit. If I had to go through this so that motherfucker can't go and kill another woman and dump her off into somewhere, into a watery grave, then so fucking be it. If I had to go through that so that another motherfucker would not get caught up with these crazy ass bitches with their magic, so fucking be it. because too much has been lost dealing with these karmics running around the planet. So I was happy to go through that. I was happy to deal with that. And then sometimes you guys come into this, you're like, why? I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to go through that. Like, no. But when you're in the middle of it, it's like you have no choice. You have no choice. Then so be it. If it's war that you want, then it's war you're going to fucking get. If it's drama that you want, then it's drama that you're going to get on your end, not over here. That's why we go through some of these things. That's why some of you guys are dealing with your twin now, not for you to be a union, but for you to realize that you can do it by yourself. It's not about the masculine choosing you or choosing the karmic, because he has a soul contract with her too to go into the tower. He has a contract with her too to lose everything. They have a contract as well. Let him fulfill his contract. Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine watching. So, and that's another thing for you guys too, to realize when the ancestors realize what's not for you. Because whatever is for you is going to come to you easily, effortlessly, with no drama. No karmics attached to them playing with spell work or sex magic or blood magic or none of that shit. None of that. It's going to come organically, without hesitation, without warning sometimes too. Without drama, without conflict, without none of that bullshit. That's when you have to deal with that mess. Some of y'all are like, okay, well, why did the Most High let me get fired from my job? Maybe they wanted you to go back to school so that you can enhance your craft. Maybe they wanted you to look for a new job. Maybe they wanted you to leave that area because they knew that a tower was coming in that area, and for you to move. They wanted you to go to higher ground. Reflect on connection. It says here, reflecting on your connections. That's why. True words, yeah. Sometimes that's why the Most High, that's what I'm saying, God won't ever play you, ever. And get your mind out of that state that, oh, God doesn't love me or I'm being punished. Nah, that's not even the case. Look for the silver lining, especially when you know you didn't do anything and you're just being attacked because people are jealous or whatever. Look for the silver lining. Look deeper. It's not about you. There's something else going on underneath. That's why they let it happen. For those of you, like I said, because I know a lot of you guys started on my channel for twin stuff, but just stayed for the personal development and the upliftment and the healing. A lot of y'all have to go through that type of stuff dealing with the karmic females or the harems and shit like that. Because they're showing you who you are not. That's another reason why the Most High will let you deal with karmics. Because they're trying to show you, do you see now why you don't do drugs? Do you see now why you stay out of promiscuity? Do you see now why it's better that you don't play with certain witchcraft and magic? Do you see now why you stay away from certain shit? Because that's what you turn into. Every single karmic female that came into my zone within this situation, I saw who I could be dealing with had I not changed my life or gotten myself together. They were a reflection of who I could have been had I stayed in that timeline. They were all a manifestation of of timelines that I had broken and that were no longer, conducive to me long time ago. Think about this, you guys. Every single karmic that you deal with, she is a low vibrational manifestation of you. She's a low vibrational manifestation of your consciousness that you have broken away from and that you've transcended. Like, wow, that's how I used to act in 5th grade. Wow, that's how I used to act when I didn't care about my life and I was sleeping with any type of man. Wow, that's who I could have been had I not changed my life. That's who I could have been if I could have continued to stay in victim consciousness and blaming everybody for my life instead of cleaning my shit up. Yeah, that's what these karmics are showing you. That's why you go through that. The Most High's like, you see how stable you are? You see how much work you've done on yourself? Can you give yourself more credit, girl? Can you give yourself more credit, Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine? Because look what you could have been. Oh, hell nah, thank you. All those times I spent in isolation, good. All those times I spent in celibacy, thank you. Now I see why. All those times that I wanted to go out and date and you were like, nah, we want to keep you by yourself, thank you. Now I see why. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one that gets the keys to the kingdom, not these karmics. What the fuck? They are going to get a key to prison, a key to a therapist. that they're forced to go and see. It's court mandated. A key to poverty. They're for sure getting a key, but a key to fucking what? That's why the Most High lets you go through that. Learning from other people's mistakes. Yes, thank you. They always say that a smart person learns from their mistake, but a wise person learns from the mistake of others. Yeah. You learn by looking at those karmics. Also, that's what happens when you play with blood magic. This is how it's going to blow up in her face. Okay, yeah, let me stay away from that. This is what happens when you play with lust spells. Yeah, basically. This is what happens when you lie on people or you slander people or you try to create situations with spell work or whatever the fuck. Or you try to orchestrate bullshit in somebody's life. That's what happens to you. Yeah. You end up hanging by your foot. You end up in spiritual jail. These karmics are teaching you something about yourself. Pay attention. Pay attention. They think that there's something. Imagine people who are so dysfunctional. They think there's something wrong with the way that you operate. That's another reason why you guys are going through this, to realize that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the way that you behave. There's nothing wrong with the way that you act. I'm a hermit, and people feel like, oh, she must be weird since she's not all out and about like fucking the whole town. Or she must be weird since she's not surrounded by a whole bunch of bitches that are just jealous of her anyways. Yeah, they're weird. They're da-da-da-da-da. Then when you see those karmics going through towers, those same friends exposing their business, those same men burning them with STDs or getting other bitches pregnant or having a whole harem in their face embarrassing them, then who's really the dumb one? Who's really the one that's a problem? You know, some of these masculines, they don't want to deal with you because you weren't a hoe, you weren't built to hoe, and you weren't going to just do what they say, and you were going to hold them accountable. Okay, so go be with the bitch that lets you go do that. Now they're seeing the value in having a woman in their life that actually reprimands them and puts them in their place and checks them. I see the value in having a woman like that in my life. Now they're seeing it though. But you have to realize, you know what? It's good because somebody else is going to get all this and they're going to appreciate it from the jump. That's why the Most High put you through that, to make you realize that you were being gaslit by dysfunctional people. People who have no function in their fucking life. People who practice all kinds of abuse or mental illness. Or they play all kinds of games. How the fuck are you going to tell somebody else about what behavior is right? What behavior is proper? That's why you guys know, like, when I was dealing with these slandering on YouTube and these karmics were talking about I'm a this or I'm a that, I was just laughing. How is a bitch that's still living in her mama's house with no fucking job, playing with love spells on motherfuckers, clinically psychotic? How the fuck is that bitch gonna tell me anything about myself? That's why you guys, this is the Most High's like, you're supposed to be laughing. This is comedy. It's supposed to make you laugh. Like, really? Okay. Damn, I didn't know that about myself. Tell me more that you don't know. Tell me more. That's another reason why too that you go through this with these karmics, because it's preparing you for other spaces. It's 144 likes as I say that. Saving all my D for you. Yes. Yes, I'm saving all my love for you. No, you're so funny. That's why you have to go through this, to realize, wow, a motherfucker would rather stay in a toxic ass relationship where they're being like financially abused or having blood fed to them or something like that, because they're just like the karmic. Duh. That's why they get along so well. Yeah. Think about that. Some of you guys are like, I don't know if some of you guys, you know, because of the childhood that you went through, you were always being belittled and this and this and that. And and now you deal with these karmics and you're like, wow, you know what? I actually did well for myself. Wow, it could have been that bad. It could have been so much worse, you guys. I'm telling you. That's why the Most High puts you through those situations, to show you this is what you could have been. How about that? Oh, no, hell no, I'm good. Thank you. That's why these karmics are so hell-bent on trying to first they try to break you down and make it seem like they're not this, and then they try to be you, because they know that your archetype is the actual archetype that they should be expressing, but they can't. They forfeited that. And now you're learning the power. Like, I'd rather stay like that than to be involved in bullshit. Oh, he wants me to be like this. He wants me to be a fast woman. He wants me to be like that. I can't be like that. Or he wants me to be controllable. He wants me to be like this. He wants me to be where he can control with finances. I'm sorry, I can't be like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It makes you even stronger. It makes you even have stronger boundaries. And also, too, it makes you have discernment, so that you're no longer dealing with bullshit. Just off the bat, like, you know what? I'm not even about to deal with you. No, I'm good. Thank you. Straight off the bat, you guys. That's why you guys deal with this as well, to strengthen your muscle. Like once you smell it, once you see it, get up out of there. Oh, okay. I already see that this is a trap. I'm on. I'm gone. That's why the Most High puts you in those situations. That's why you deal with karmics as well too. It's like, think about it like kind of like a little bit of a spiritual boot camp. Also to learn patience too. I didn't realize how patient I was. I always thought I was a person who was impatient. I'm so fucking patient. So that's why you guys go through this, for it to test your character, for you to see your character. People, no one outside of me has to tell me that I'm a divine feminine. No one outside of me has to tell me that I'm this, that I'm fucking wicked smart, that I'm hella intuitive, that I'm a good person, that I'm very creative. No one has to tell me those things about myself. I know that about myself because I've been through all different types of trials and tribulations. Where in karmics, I had to pull out the best of me to deal with them. Sometimes the Most High lets you go through the isolation so that when these karmics they see you doing a solo bolo, they're like, damn, you know what? That's a real one right there. They don't need to tell you. You can know it yourself. When I went through my gang stalking, y'all, not a single person fucking helped me at all. Not a single person. I didn't call anybody. They were surprised because they were paying people to, oh, when Daisy calls you, ignore it. I didn't call anybody. I didn't call anybody. I didn't email anybody. I didn't do any of that shit. All I did was send those emails to the people who were in position of power and proximity so that when the tower fell, they would get caught up. I'm not stupid. I already knew what time it was because I already knew, oh no, if anybody was supposed to be helping me, they would have been on my team a long time ago. There would have been no mints, there would have been no excuses or about that. None of that. I did actually have helpers. I did. I did have people that were supporting me in the spiritual realm. Yes, I did. Actually, so let me rephrase that. I did have people who were helping me. But for the most part, when the tower and shit like that, I was doing that shit solo bolo. Didn't no one have to fucking help me. Even all the legal, when I was going through all the legal stuff, all that stuff, I was writing those documents myself. They couldn't fucking believe it. Why couldn't you? Because they sold the whole story to everybody that she's a this and she was a that. Your enemies know your power. They know. That's why they have to discredit you and lie. And look how that lie got held people caught up in a oath that they didn't want to take. Look how that shit blew up in everyone's face. They made everyone take an oath to work against me off of lies. Not everyone is realizing that they took an oath, that they took a pact, and that they're tied up to karmic bullshit now. Now look, they have to eat their fucking words. They're getting exposed. They look stupid. Thank you so much, Gene. I'm telling you, you guys, just let people play with you. Your enemies will actually affirm who you are in front of everybody. By trying to discredit you, they will affirm you. Pretty Linda, it's going to be okay. Do that How to Poison a Liar. Remember we were doing all of that, those meditations? That's another thing too. Now no one test me spiritually. They can't. Now people can see too. That's why another thing as well. You guys remember you're exposing demons. You're exposing demons for people to see. They have to see how far people will lie. They have to see what type of mental illness people carry in their mind. They have to see how broken people are and how they react when they're intimidated or when they're jealous. They have to see it. They have to see how grown-ass people act these days that are broken. They have to see the result of childhood trauma. They have to. For some of these karmics that were playing with me, it had to happen like that because their parents had to see just how shitty of people they are. That's why my child is like that, because of me. They had to see it. Some of these parents that were working against you or shit like that, they had to see just how trifling they are. They had to see how low vibrational they are. These siblings and shit like that, they had to see how toxic they are and how they're basically an extension for the other parent to continue their narcissistic bullshit. Thank you, John Diamond. It had to happen like that, you guys, for them to realize that they were sick, because that's what's happening now, judgment. They're going and they're realizing, I shouldn't have talked about that person like that. I shouldn't have exaggerated like that. I shouldn't have lied. I should have been trying to do witchcraft on that person. I should have been doing this or this or that. Now they're starting to realize their behavior by realizing who you are and realizing who they are not. It had to happen like that. It's an organic process. It had to happen like that for them to now see. We talked about, like, around this time, a lot of these karmics with Neptune going retrograde, a lot of these karmics that were playing with love spells and shit like that, these masculines are waking up to it. Now those karmics are out in the cold. They're embarrassed. They got put in part of the harem where maybe they were the main harem or the main member or whatnot. Now they got coupled up with the rest, or now they're single. It had to happen like that for them to realize just how thirsty and low vibrational they were. And that karma always comes. They have to go through that. Look it says here, yeah, thank you God, angels and my ancestor for protecting me. Now he has HIV from a karmic drug addict. Yeah, pretty much. That's why it has to happen like that. That's why sometimes the Most High is protecting you from some of these masculines, because they got hella sex entities and demons on them, and they don't want you mixing with that shit. Stay away. Let him go play with the karmic. You guys remember, a lot of the times there's a purpose. The karmic is supposed to lead them to the tower. Don't interrupt that. They just have to engage with you and interact with you to seal that fate, to seal their karma. Because now the Most High is like, remember, we gave you a choice, right? We already let you know. So now you're here willingly. No, you can't get out. Ain't no changing your mind. Ain't no going back. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are beautiful people. Stay away. That's why the Most High is giving you the time too, for you to really realize, okay, this is actually not what I want. I don't want somebody that's going to be going back and forth. I don't want somebody that's childish and doesn't know themselves. I don't want somebody that's low self-esteem, that's always chasing after other people to build up their self-esteem. I don't want that. I don't want a coward. You don't want that shit. You want somebody that has a backbone, that's going to straight up give you the keys to the streets and let you know they're going to go to war with you. They're going to be like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to fuck with you. I'm going to fight with you. Period. Thank you. Yeah. Not these weak-ass motherfuckers that try to throw you under the bus or flip shit on you. That's bitch shit right there. That's a motherfucker that's confused about their sexuality. They don't know what the fuck they want. That's a motherfucker that has no backbone. They weren't raised right. They don't have no integrity. They don't have no heart. That's not somebody that you want to deal with. Why the fuck would the Most High bring you somebody that's like that? Like that? You're more thuggish than them. You're more of a warrior than them. Come on now. Why would the Most High bring you a weak-ass bitch like that? Excuse my language. For real talk, think about it. That's how you know you're healed, yes. That's another reason too. The Most High was testing you. Do you see how healed you are? You see the work that you did? Do you see the value in it now? Go back and revisit some of that stuff. Yes. Refill your cup. Yes. Expand your cup and then refill it. Yes. But you see for the most part how much healing you did on yourself? Do you see how many broken people you exposed? Do you see how many frauds you exposed? Do you see how many people that are playing in your energy field, they've ruined their life permanently? Do you see? You guys are also setting the tone, because a lot of these people in your job or in your church or in your community, what's going to end up happening is you're creating space. Your experience is creating space for new people who are actually about that life to take leadership. That's what's happening. That's why this is happening. You're setting the tone so that after your experience with your masculine, your karmic, or your person or your feminine, they're going to be a pariah. After they see what they did to you, oh, nah, don't stay away from that person. Nah, don't fuck with him. After that job, after you come out with your story, after they saw what happened to you, no, we don't want to partner with that company. We don't want to deal with them anymore. People getting their reputations ruined, playing with you. Yeah, he's getting fired from his job, and the company's getting sued as well. That's why this had to happen, you guys. To set the tone for other people as well. Oh, they already have a long track record of bullshit and fuckery? Perfect. You were just the icing on the cake. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, that's why this is happening, guys. You're just the icing on the cake. You're defeating a principality. You're exposing karmic shadows, because people have to see this is how people operate. Had you guys not seen me go through the situation, you would have never believed that people can actually go that far. Some of y'all favorite celebrities and entertainers are involved. When you hear their name, you're going to be like, oh, I'm done. Yeah, it was supposed to happen that way. Get these rats out of the spiritual community. It had to happen that way. Get these rats out of the social justice community. It had to happen that way. For people had to see the worst of the worst. They had to see just how far these people would go to lie, to cheat, to steal, to play games. They had to see it. These fake allies, for those of you guys who do racial justice work and stuff like that, things like that had to happen. For you guys to see these people are fake as fuck. They don't care about racial justice. They just care about getting their dick wet from women of color or men of color. Whatever they choose, for whatever day it is. They just care about clout. These black skinheads or these Uncle Toms and shit like that, these traitors, they have to get exposed. Oh, really? So you're claiming that you're talking about this and this and this and this, and you're willing to go that far over what? Yeah, there's something going on here. People have to see there's frauds and there's fakes among us, and they're getting exposed. Oh, you're possible. You're not alone. Your story is going to help a lot of other people. Witness what shifts. I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of things changing. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of shit changing. You're going to see a lot of people get reprimanded. You're going to see a lot of accountability. You're going to see a lot of karma. And it's supposed to happen just like that. Because people have to learn themselves. Yeah. You guys... That's why you guys deal with karmic energies. Now no one can test me with spell work. All the magic that the ass eaters and all their coven put out, I break it immediately. It doesn't matter if it's on me or if it doesn't matter if it's on other people. I know how to break their magic immediately. No one can test me with spell work. Death rituals, energy harvesting, sex magic, all that shit. Been through it, broke it. Some of the craziest types of magic on this planet. Defeated all of it. Categorized and classified it too. They can't do shit. They can't do shit to you either, guys. Now you've learned. Now you know better. And now we're doing better. Because we are better. Can't no one tell me shit. And if I walk around here with the attitude with my head held up high, bitch, and what? What the fuck is it? Why is it a problem to you that I feel good about myself? That's another thing here too. You guys were around too many people that didn't want you to be lit. They wanted you to feel low because they feel low about themselves. They wanted you to feel bad because that's how they build power, by seeing other people feel bad. They're energy vampires and they're stink assholes. That's why you guys have to go through that. No, bitch, I'm still going to be lit. Fuck you. That's why you have to go through this. Because you see the same bitches that run their mouth about you are the same bitches copying you. So obviously you're the GOAT, Divine Feminine. That's why this has to happen. Because the Most High is showing you this is how they react to divine energy. It's not you, it's the divine energy in you. Act accordingly. Now you know how to deal with these hoes. In any way, in any workplace that you go to next, any community, etc. Any bitch that tries you know how to deal with them. Right, you already got mind over the matter. You're the magician. Now you know, you're the master magician. Now you see how far people will go to playing your energy, to plot and plan against you because they know you're powerful. I got grown-ass fucking men in their 50s. Motherfuckers, I got millions of dollars and mansions and planes and shit like that plotting and planning on me. For what? They're weak as fuck. I got motherfuckers using me to try to rebuild their relationship with karmics that are feeding them blood and stealing from them and giving them STDs and cheating on them. For what? Because I am that bitch. You guys, you better start getting used to your energy signature. You better know yourself. You better know your keys to the streets. You have to. Just to get destroyed. Period. That's why this is happening. I love you all so much. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day. Bye.